Well, it took 14 years, but John Cena finally gave his retort to CM Punk's Pipebomb Promo. These are my assorted thoughts on the June 20th, 2025 WWE Smackdown. Welcome to Silo Voice Wrestling on YouTube and the Silo Voice Wrestling podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Jason C. McLean. I'm recording this June 21st, Saturday, around 6 p.m. Eastern. So yes, I'm actually recording this the day after SmackDown, though I still have to finish the edit on my Raw Assorted Thoughts, so this might come out a little bit later. In fact, it will come out a little bit later. Now, when I was watching SmackDown, I thought my main focus was going to be on the King of the Ring semifinal match and how I felt about Sami Zayn not advancing. We're going to get to that, but something bigger happened. Yeah, that promo. John Cena finally retorted or gave his, mocked, I guess you could say, gave sort of a beat-by-beat reenactment of CM Punk's Pipebomb promo from 14 years ago. It came after a disqualification victory by Ron Killings or R-Truth, and Punk coming down to save the day. Cena hit him with the title belt, put him through a branded Slim Jim table, snap into that table, and then basically laid waste to Punk on the mic. I thought this was excellent. This is like a Cena promo of old, which I'm honestly not that experienced with because I sort of had tuned out from wrestling for the whole time where Cena was really on top. I mean, I was aware of John Cena. I was aware of his legendary mic skills. But yeah, he was really on point. He even referenced Claudio Castagnoli, Matt Cardona, Nick Nemeth, and they've referenced back. I don't know if they're going to do anything with that. None of them work in WWE, although Matt Cardona's wife does work in WWE, Chelsea Green. So who knows if that'll turn into anything. I think it was just a way to show up Punk. He made some very good points, but what I found was really interesting was that this was coded like a babyface promo, and the crowd started getting into it. Yeah, at one point he called them idiots or something like that, but no, the crowd was behind him, and he said the tide is turning. And I mean, I'm not the first person to speculate this. I've heard others speculate it. Are we in maybe for a double turn at Night of Champions, where CM Punk goes heel but wins the championship, and then we get a heel CM Punk versus Cody at SummerSlam. I'm assuming it's going to be Cody, more on that later, and versus a babyface John Cena. I'm going to do an actual prediction video for Night of Champions. I'll go into more detail, but let's just say this double turn could involve The Rock. Punk is still really over, and I guess it was just the sheer quality of this promo that got the crowd cheering it. Yes, John Cena has been the heel. People want to boo him. Let's go Cena. Cena sucks. But it wasn't even that at the end. It was just, let's go Cena, because that man was flexing his skills on the microphone. That was, even though it was a babyface promo when he's supposed to be a heel, he was cooking. And that was a truly spellbinding promo to cap off the show. Another indication of the babyface turn, he brought up Stu again, his favorite cameraman that he had, or camera operator, videographer that he had completely ignored in this heel run. And he was playing to the crowd, and Punk was just motionless. Punk didn't even try to get up. And I guess this was maybe the receipt on the Pipebomb promo, or a thank you from Punk for having Cena stay down for his entire pipe bomb 14 years ago. And of course, there was the line, "You were the best in the world for 7 minutes 14 years ago." Wow, that was brutal. And I mean, they're not really touching on Cena hinted at Punk's inversion to Saudi Arabia in previous social media posts, and called him a hypocrite. But obviously he didn't outright mention that, because I mean, that would be outright calling out the WWE's partnership with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So the best way he could do it, he did it. And wow, what an incredible way to cap off SmackDown. Now, before I go on to my next main topic, I will talk about Ron Killings, who was actually introduced, not just in the graphics, as R-Truth. I'm wondering, I thought he was supposed to be Ron Killings. Maybe they're going to let him use R-Truth if he ever leaves WWE, or maybe they made an agreement to promote both names, even though he's listed as Ron Killings. I'm not sure. And you know what? I was really confused when he randomly attacked Kit Wilson and messed up Malachi Black's match. That seemed a little bit odd, but it did lead to Damian Priest talking to him later. Maybe that's going to lead to a feud or a buddy thing. Maybe that's setting, because obviously he's not going to, he might finish off his run with Cena, but obviously Cena's moved on to Punk. Cena's moved on to other things right now. In fact, well, Truth actually won the match. Ron Killings won the match by disqualification. So he has a right to get a rematch against John Cena, maybe for the title. But yeah, that first attack was kind of weird. But I think it set up the whole Damian Priest talking to Ron Killings or R-Truth after, which could lead to something in the future. I think that was a really good segment, even though we kind of had that weird segment where he's attacking, I think maybe an official heel, but quasi babyface who in Kit Wilson. Also, maybe they just didn't want to have the Kit Wilson Malachi Black match. Sorry, Aleister Black. They didn't want to rephrase that because it's a different company. Maybe they just didn't want to have the Kit Wilson Aleister Black match. But now the thing that I thought was going to be my focus was the King of the Ring finals. You know what? First off, regardless of the outcome, that was an incredible match. Sami Zayn looked like he could win. The last time he fought Randy Orton, he was he lost rather quickly. That was a few years ago before WrestleMania, before he ended up beating Gunther. But there were a lot of hope spots for Zayn and for Randy Orton too. And yeah, I thought that was incredible. I also really like the 4 baby faces set up for the match, where they're all talking about, how they're going to win, they're going to beat the others, but how they all have their mutual respect. It's kind of weird that the semifinals are 4 baby faces, but it was interesting. And then, yeah, Sami lost. But you know what? It makes sense in retrospect, because I now see where they're going with this tournament. I'm pretty sure Cody Rhodes is going to beat Jey Uso, and I think he's going to beat Randy Orton in Saudi. And Orton might either turn heel here or lay the more groundwork for an eventual heel turn if Cody gets back the championship. So that means, though, that Sami potentially could still become a world champion at SummerSlam, because, I mean, Gunther is fighting Goldberg right now. We don't know who's going to end up fighting him at SummerSlam, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be Cena or Punk. It's going to be that championship. So Cody's going to be fighting for that championship. So the World Heavyweight Championship, whether it's Gunther or not, is going to be up for grabs. And I'm still hoping Sami somehow goes for that one. And maybe to get him on the Saudi card, he'll have that match against Karrion Kross. Almost forgot the guy's name. I'm not good. But yeah, but there's still an incredible match. And I think I know how the rest of the tournament's going to go. And I'm also very interested to see Cody versus Jey Uso. I'm pretty sure Cody's going to win because Orton won the other one. But I still think that's going to be a good match. And we're going to have to see where Jey Uso goes from there. Maybe back to the tag team scene for a bit. I don't know. I like Jey Uso's singles push, but they might put him back in tags for a while, if only to make the New Day better on Raw. For Queen of the Ring, my ultimate prediction is not changing. I'm pretty sure Jade Cargill is going to win on Raw and defeat Roxanne Perez, and is going to beat, now it's going to be Asuka in Saudi, because I'm pretty sure she's going to be Queen of the Ring. But still, this match, Asuka versus Alexa Bliss, the storytelling in it was great. The physical storytelling. I just love how when Alexa was going to do Twisted Bliss, but instead she jumped down because she thought Asuka was playing possum, so to speak, which she was. And then, but then she falls for it later. She goes up, and Asuka puts the knees up, and Asuka wins. So you know what? That was really good storytelling. Alexa obviously has another major story coming up from later in the show. But yeah, really well done match from a couple of pros, even though I'm pretty sure, congratulations to Asuka. She's going to Saudi, but I'm pretty sure she's going to end up losing to Jade Cargill there. And of course, we set up Jade Cargill backstage talking to Michin and B-Fab, but wow, Jade Cargill really just looks like a champion, like a superhero, a champion. Just the whole poise, the whole everything. Wasn't the best backstage promo or backstage interview, but it was just the sheer way she delivered it and the look and everything. Wow, she's a future star. Well, she's a star already, and she's gonna get a championship. Whether or not Naomi takes it away from her right away, we don't know. speaking of Alexa and Charlotte Flair, I did enjoy the Charlotte Flair Chelsea Green match. It was a weird match to book. Maybe if they're trying to like make Charlotte more of a baby, because technically they're both heels, but obviously the crowd was going to cheer for Chelsea despite the Secret Service cheating. I was hoping Chelsea was going to win. She gets a win over Charlotte Flair, but no, Charlotte needs her wins now. I get it. That's how it goes. She lost it. Did the job at WrestleMania, but that Piper Niven attack at the end, like, wow, that could have like Charlotte was in the figure four. Piper just lands on her. That could have crushed her. I think there's a bit of fun interplay on social media after Piper saying, "I'll do better next time," to crush her or something, because I guess everyone's safe. So, but of course, it set up the whole thing with Alexa at the end and Charlotte not wanting Alexa's help. Charlotte and Alexa, that could be an interesting feud to watch. It seems like Charlotte only wants to feud with blonde women, though. It's kind of weird. Fellow blonde women. And speaking of the WWE Women's Champion, Tiffany Stratton, I'm not so sure if a last woman standing match for the title against Nia Jax is really the best idea when Naomi is running around with the Money in the Bank briefcase. I don't know. Maybe she's hoping that, Nia prevents Naomi again from cashing in like she did this night. But you know what, Nia, if it's the last woman standing and Tiffany wins, Nia's going to be on there. That means Nia's not standing to help her, and she just knocks Tiffany down. It's probably almost down. 1, 2, 3. Hopefully Tiffany has some other helpers. I could definitely see, again, for my prediction video for King and Queen of the Ring, but I could definitely see a cash-in happening after that match, in which case that would set up Tiffany and Jade for the title at SummerSlam, which is great. However we get there, I don't care. I just think we should have that. I heard a rumor from a report that LA Knight might be going to Raw, and this could be a way to do it. I didn't expect him to be feuding with Seth Rollins' faction, but they've been building that up, and we started off with that. Paul Heyman even cut a promo in LA Knight. There was the attack. LA Knight stopped it with Chekhov's chair. After the match, though, of course, it was a disqualification, but all those tsunamis, I think LA Knight maybe will be out for a couple weeks, but I think he's going to chase them all the way to Raw. And I think LA Knight, Seth Rollins, maybe that's a way LA Knight could get a world championship, because I think moving him to Raw makes sense, only because unless they're going to move some of the Seth Rollins faction to SmackDown, there really isn't. He's kind of gone through most of the people on SmackDown, at least most of the heels. So you either switch him heel, keep him there, or you move him to Raw, move him babyface. So that was a key part of the show. I'm interested to see where it goes. And as for Jacob Fatu rejecting Solo Sikoa's offer and setting up a match, well, it was a good segment, but it was kind of necessary. You could kind of see where they were going. They had to have the outright rejection in the ring and the attack. The crowd definitely was into it, although you could tell they kind of saw where it was going. But, they were telling Solo not to listen. They were telling Jacob not to listen to Solo. The one surprise is that they're doing this at Night of Champions. Yes, it's the next one, but I thought Solo versus Jacob for the title would be a SummerSlam match. They do have 2 nights in the stadium to fill, and that's definitely, I think, a big match. Maybe they see it as not as big a match as it might come across. Maybe they see it as a necessary match to get to the next stage. I don't know who because I'm sure Jacob's going to win that one. I'm not sure who Jacob's next opponent's going to be. Unless they bring back like Roman for SummerSlam or something. Although Roman's a babyface now, and I think that maybe they're going to. They must have accepted by now that Jacob is going to have to stay a babyface because he's too over with the crowd. But maybe against Roman might be interesting. Good segment, a necessary one, and kind of predictable one, except surprised as to where the match is going to be. But let's see how that plays out. And these were my assorted thoughts on the June 20th, 2025 WWE Smackdown, as referenced by John Cena from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Wow, that crowd got a surprisingly excellent show. Not surprisingly, I'm hoping the Montreal show is going to be just as eventful as that one, because I got tickets for it. Did you agree with my assorted thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Follow at Silo Voice Wrestling on Facebook and Instagram, at Silo Wrestling on X, and me at Jason C. McLean on X and Instagram. And also jasoncmclean.bsky.social on Bluesky. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications to get on my wrestling hot takes, cold takes, simmering takes, WWE Premium Live Event prediction and review videos, wrestling opinion pieces, and assorted thoughts on Raw and SmackDown. I will be back with my assorted thoughts on Raw and my prediction for Night of Champions after we officially do the finals, even though I kind of know who's going to win in the finals. Until then, though, for Silo Voice Studios in Montreal, I'm Jason C. McLean.